Alright guys, Rambling Man here. I've got this new windshield installed and I'm going to go out for a quick ride to give it a test. I'll see you on the road. Alright guys, Rambling Man Moto here. This is my initial run with this Freedom Shield. Actually, because it has all that plastic covering, it's a little harder to see through. But what I'm experiencing is my head is buffeting just a little at the top and kind of off the back of the helmet, and also significant reduced flow of air into the helmet. Might have to open the top to get some airflow. My glasses are fogging up, which they wouldn't do normally. So this thing is definitely obviously blocking air coming in on the front. I've opened my top wind vent to get some air into the helmet. That's helping kind of clear up this fog on the glasses. I can feel no air coming through the front vent, even though it is open, which I find really interesting because there's still air, you know, here, but I'm not getting a lick of air through the front that I feel. I can see over it just fine. Now sometimes I slump. Now I've actually been having a ton of back pain, and I don't know if it's from riding. I've been riding a lot more than probably usual, and I don't know if it's my posture. Then as a result of so much riding, I have been sitting and fiddling around with some of the footage, so I've been sitting a lot. But when I get up to, you know, 50 to 55 and above, just like on my Super Chief, my head bobbles just a little. This one I can feel it a little more off the back. Right now I don't feel anything. There's no wind hitting me that I can feel. Now on long trips, not having that wind beat on your chest, I'm sure results in less fatigue, but the other side of it is the wind is not there to cool you down as much, and with the wind deflectors it's also not cooling down from the sides, not cooling the engine down as much. My challenge with the Freedom Shields is if I go to the next taller, it's going to be probably at my eye line. It's kind of the same issue I had with the Super Chief. If I go to the next taller, it's going to be right in my line of sight. And if I go to the tallest, I actually don't think the tallest resulted in the lowest wind friction for me. And you know, you're looking through it rather than over it. The goal is to look over it. I have to be careful sometimes. I think people think I'm giving them some sort of hand gesture when I'm fiddling around talking like this, or when I want to put my hand up and feel for air. Like on my Super Chief, when I get on the interstate, my head is shaking so much that it actually starts to become like blurry and distracting. So in terms of, you know, is there something better, I would love to have all three of the Freedom Shields and just be able to try them on and do it back to back, because that would be the best. But what happens is you end up spending, you know, a week mailing this back, a week or two for them to make the new one, then a week for it to reach you, and by then you kind of forgotten and you're like, well, is this one better or worse? But my experience, I did it with the other bike, and I think if I go to the next size up, it's going to be right at my eye level, and then the next up is I'm looking through it, and I'm, you know, at slower speeds the wind doesn't bother me as much. It's when you're out taking longer trips where you want the wind to be not as much of a fatiguing impact. But if it's just hitting your head to the point you're getting a headache, that's no good. Like overall, to me, this feels pretty good. But at the higher speeds is where I notice this more. Tested a little here now. It's interesting because I can tell the glasses are still fogging up a little, even with the top vent open. And I don't think I could do this with the vent closed. Now, this is all feeling pretty good. Like I can feel some slight air at my head. It's better than on my Super Chief. The Super Chief, man, it just... I mean, this has a little bit of it. On my Super Chief, I feel like my head gets to bouncing so much. Like, speed limit signs become blurry. This, I can feel it right on top of my head, going down kind of the back of the helmet. So you guys tell me, what's your definition of success when it comes to the windshield height? And your definition of success on the impact of the windshield? Zero feeling on the helmet? Or should I be satisfied with this? You know, am I being too much of a perfectionist on it? I like that I'm looking over it even when I'm slumping a little bit with my posture. The plastic film is obscuring some of the front, so like scanning for obstacles is a little different. Right now I've got to be careful because I can't fully see through it as well as I would without it on there. See how this windshield does out on the interstate. Alright, so I'm out here. I mean, I gotta say, this is performing, I think, pretty well. I feel like there's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, like a bubble of air around my head. Like I can kind of sense it around the top of my head, the back of my head, and my ears. But I'm going 70, and I think it feels about as good as one could expect. I'm gonna get up a little faster here. And I think, you know, there's some slight head movement, but overall, you know, I think this is feeling pretty good. So I'm gonna try this again, get past this tractor trailer. Thought this Jeep might get back over. Alright, that was almost 85. Past the tractor trailer. I'm feeling pretty good with that. I mean, there's some head bobbing. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but it's better than my Super Chief. You know, again, I said it's hard to describe. It's like an air pocket, and at times I can feel like it's just puffering. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's like at the top of my head, I can kind of just feel it. And I just wonder if with a really long trip, would this take its toll? Or is this about as good as I can get it? No, overall, I feel like that this is probably what I need, because I think the next one's 2 inches taller, and I just think it's going to be too tall.